Justin.
Hey, Greg, thanks for taking the time, appreciate it. Another wild start, I guess, to these games. What do you have to say about the red card, the giving up the first goal, but then how you guys responded sort of in that second half?
Yeah, I thought we started really poor. From the kickoff, probably for the next, 5-10 minutes, I just felt like we never settled into the game. The kickoff, the way we went to the kickoff and hit a straight ball just didn't make sense. We got to be cleaner and start games cleaner. I thought all of that kind of us not using the ball well, turning it over, not really settling in, we're hitting long balls and doing things that was making the game transitional, opening it up, and again, not really working together defensively to keep things where we were, and they came across us and they got a goal. But I thought it all started from a bit of an erratic start, and things didn't settle in. But from there to the rest of that half, I thought we did a good job of at least just protecting ourselves and managing our way through the first half as we kind of settled into being a down a man. And then I thought the second half reaction was really good. I thought guys were connected, made it difficult for them to create too many chances on the attacking side. We protected ourselves. We were down, so we're still trying to find ways that we could initiate enough pressure to get them into areas where we could try to recover balls that we could use in transition. And we get a foul. Diego hits a great free kick. It's actually the first direct free kick that we've scored since I've been here. So good timing, I guess. But that's the first one. So. And then even after that, I thought we were able to break out on a couple of occasions. Obviously, Joe gets one across to Gabe where maybe we have a chance, and one where Mickey gets to the end line, we don't quite get across. But we have some other promising moments. But I'm proud of the guys. This is the fourth game in 2 weeks with some heavy travel in between and a tough loss on Tuesday. And it started off in a way that didn't feel like it was shaping up for us, and the guys found a way to get a good solid earned point, even though we came here for 3 today. It didn't play out the way we were expecting from the start, and they did a great job of pulling together and taking something out of this game.
What's the frustration level like for you guys? You finally look like you get healthy. You have a pretty strong starting lineup for the first time, I think, probably in a while. Salka gets the red card. Things start falling apart pretty quickly there. Eventually this stuff has to get fixed, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I think it has to get fixed. And some of this it's tough to fix things just going from game to game because you're trying to solve some things inside of the game. No excuses, just we got to stop putting ourselves in holes and then trying to figure our way out of holes. So, there's no two ways about it. It's got to get cleaned up. It's got to get fixed. And hopefully as we get guys, tonight we try to give Lucas his first start and to settle him into the team a bit. He hasn't played many games, so he's still kind of finding his way and his footing inside of the group. I thought Isaiah came on and gave us a good second half performance, just showing again that he understands systematically some things, even though we're down a man. So I think even though we're getting healthier, there's still guys who haven't played a ton with us, so that are still kind of learning a little bit more about what we're trying to do. So. But yeah, we've got to clean it up. We've got to clean up the putting ourselves in a hole and the not so good starts. Those are the biggest things because after that, I feel like we find ourselves back into the game and we look all right. So.
Hey, Greg. Got a couple for you. First off, when Zonka gets a red card and you've got to react to it, was there any thought to bringing Eric in as a center back and moving something around?
Yeah, there's a thought. There's a couple of things that go there. One was. I let it ride for a few minutes. One is Eric is not in great physical condition right now. His back is a bit messed up, and so if we had to use him for a short period of time, I felt comfortable with it. If I had to use him for a long period of time, I wasn't super comfortable with it. The second part was let it ride for a little bit just to see how it was going, and Eddie looked like he was comfortable. And the second part to that was Eddie back there gave us, I thought, a lot more capacity to stay and hold the ball. Okay, and part of that is because of Eddie's ability to dribble the ball, to move with the ball, it's harder to press a midfielder when he's back in that position who's very comfortable on the ball than sometimes center backs or other players back there. So I felt like with Eddie back there, it gave us a chance to start more attacks, to have a little bit more of the ball and and give us maybe a little bit of composure, even though we were down a man. Not to say that Eric couldn't, but Eric isn't going to move around with the ball and carry into new spaces and win some time on the dribble that maybe we could use. So when I saw that was pretty settled in on the defensive side, and I was going to play that one for a while because I thought it would help us, to try to create some things and not just end up defending for longer stretches of time.
In that situation, how much do you have stringent ideas of these things have to be taken care of by these people, and how much freedom is there? Because we saw with Mickey, we saw with Diego, we saw that at times they would shift into places where there might be space that needed to be filled. There seemed to be a lot of reading of the game and falling into defensive positions.
Yeah, there's a lot of, we know where the positions are, and the question is, how are you going to fill them, and with one less number, sometimes filling them is a little bit trickier, and so again, you're trying to do that while not exposing yourself, while also making sure you have enough numbers to start an attack, but you're trying to get enough numbers into positions where you can try to finish some attacks, but then not expose yourself in transition, so it became pretty fluid. But I felt like with that group, and especially with Isaiah out there, I felt like there was everybody kind of understood some of the fluidity that needed to maybe take place, even on the defensive side. If guys got pulled out, how we would fill back into some of the spaces to cover each other. And I think that the guys did a good job. They did a good job of, again, dealing with stuff.
And then lastly, and this is more of a general question, not so much specific to this game, but in terms of, you've talked a few times in the past month and a half or so about the need to recognize situations, to be at the right speed, to take responsibility in these situations. Are you seeing the advances you want to see there? How much is that still a work in progress?
Yeah, well, I think it's different for different guys, right? Like, some guys, they read things, they anticipate, they pick it up early, and they recognize what needs to be done, and they deal with it. And some guys are a little slower. I think collectively the group is, we're trying to get everybody there. And then you have some guys, Joe didn't go through a preseason. It took him a few games, but I think the last 2 games we see Joe at top speed again. And then you see, guys who are coming into our team that haven't been into our team, like a Lucas, who's going to still need time. And that's why it's not like, it's not smooth, and when you put yourself down a man, it becomes even more tricky. And so that's a whole different scenario. But I do think, with the way the group the group we brought in the second half, there was some continuity within that group and some recognition of things that needed to be recognized, and they dealt with 11 men and created the chance they got the goal and created a couple other chances and dealt with some stuff through the course of the game. So we've got to do those types of things with 11 and make sure that we can get on top of the game and not do things that put us behind or put us underneath some things. But I do think, look, my bet here is that as we get healthy and we get some time and a rhythm to train a little bit and get guys integrated back into the group and into the rhythm, and when you look down on the bench and we start to see guys who can come in to also impact the game and really help us, that we can certainly build our way out of this. But we got to also get some guys. We've got 4 guys on the bench who can do a lot of things to help our group too. So there's, we've got to continue to build our way back into this.
The timeline, I take it, is still uncertain.
Well, the good things are Marco was in part of training the other day, so hopefully we can build forward towards that. Hopefully for next week, Mauricio should be ready for next week. I mean, he checked all the boxes coming into today, and just another week of full training will really help him because where he was. Maya is still probably a couple of weeks or so away, but I think in general we're starting to at least see some light at the end of the tunnel, so long as we can keep the group that we have healthy,
Hey, Greg. I'm trying to think of a question Scott hasn't asked yet.
Well, usually you start so that you don't have to.
Yeah, I was laying it down here. It's 1-1. As you 60 minutes, 70 minutes. As you get later in the game, what's going through your mind sub-wise? Are you trying to hold on to it, or look for ways to pull the game out, or what are you sort of dealing with there?
A little bit of both. You're trying not to expose yourself in the effort to try to go get the second goal, in my opinion. I think when you've come from behind and you're down a man, a point is a solid result and also good for the locker room and good for the group. But what I saw in the group is they were eager to try to go win the game. And so I didn't want to take that away from them, but I also wanted to make sure that we were mindful of protecting ourselves. I loved that the mentality was, let's go, we feel confident enough to try to go win this thing, and guys were going for it. So I was trying to support that at the same time, make sure that we got out of here today with at least one, because that's the, some of the reward for the work that was put in is at least you come away with something at the end of the day. So it was trying to find a balance inside of those things, and the 10 guys that were going in the second half, I thought had really good control of it. So I was not necessarily super eager to make substitutions, but I did feel like we were losing a little bit of gas and just making sure that in transitions and moments like that we had our legs to be able to deal with some of those situations.
Hey Greg, thanks so much for talking to us. On Diego's 400th appearance, he scored the goal that tied the game for you guys, and also he was all over the pitch after you guys went down to 10 men somewhere in the defense, getting linked up in offense as well. Can you talk to us about his impact right now, especially wearing the armband, what you're seeing out of his performances and his importance to the team right now? Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure. With Diego he's a player who he understands how the pieces work, if that makes sense. Just tactically, he's aware, he understands everybody's role on the field, he understands the responsibilities of everybody, and he himself can step into different roles and pull off those things. When Diego is the out-and-out winger, I think if we don't bring numbers around him and support around him, Diego's not really at a point and I believe in his career where he's going to be beating guys one-on-one and he's running behind and he's that dynamic super player, but he is really cerebral and smart and can understand the game. So when he has Joe on the outside of him who provides him some running and some depth and he's more inside, I feel like he links some of the pieces together for us that maybe we haven't had as much of at times. And again, his understanding of what spaces need to be filled and who should be where and how things should work, both with and without the ball, is very good. And that it kind of ties some pieces together for us, like I said. And being able to put him in different positions gives, as a coach, you always want to have somebody who you feel like you can move around the field, who's going to give you sort of that solid connector, and he'll communicate on the field, he'll move people around in a different place, things like that. And he'll make good reads over the course of the game. And so, again, you just have to appreciate just that he's tactically super aware, and that helps everybody else, and he does have the ability, I think, at this point to hit passes and to find guys and to play some of those balls that more like an interior player or attacking midfielder probably suits him more than being a winger in some aspects of these days, unless he has a fullback flying around him on the outside, which we haven't done a ton of on our left side. It's a better role for him right now, and I think it's something that our team needs. But this is the first night that he's actually kind of had it all season, where he's had a winger on the outside of him who's been able to give some space creation and some running. And the other thing with Diego is he's the captain. Like, he's a guy who he connects with everybody in the locker room. Like, he is the guy that he can go sit in this pocket and have conversations with all the young guys. He can go here and speak with all the Spanish-speaking guys. He's just a great human being, and he has a way of, again, connecting people in the locker room in similar ways that he connects people on the field. And he has a way of being able to say things that you might think are offensive in a way that isn't offensive, right? They're direct, but they're like, wait, I think he just said something that I should take offense to. And then you're like, but you don't, because the way Diego says it is so clever and wise and caring in the right way. So I think those are good qualities of a leader. And so, for us right now, he's the captain, and he's stepping into that because he's that guy who can pull people together.
Can you talk to us briefly about Gabriel Peck? Earlier in the season, you saw teams kind of crashing on him, two or three different players. Is he getting the space now that you want to see him get, that Joseph Paintsil's back in the lineup? Thanks.
Well, I think it's a starting point, but when we go down a man, it's, the opposition has the ability to put numbers, at least an extra number, where he wants. But so I think it's coming. I think tonight at times he was able to be a little more direct in his play and face forward and run without the ball, run with the ball. So I think it's coming for him. I think, the other things are with Diego now, or if Marco comes back, or different guys who can kind of play the role of playmaker. He doesn't maybe internally feel like he needs to sometimes be the playmaker, because we need him to be the play finisher and the guy who's working to get behind, to get in the box, to get to the end line, to beat his man, and not necessarily receiving the ball at his feet all the time, which is something I think he's been doing too much of, and part of that is because I think he's trying to help create plays, and instead we want him on the end of some of these plays because he's a producer of goals and producer of assists and stuff. So we talked to him this week about trying to be more on the move and more active, moving without the ball and picking up the ball on the move, and a little less standing and waiting for the ball to come to his feet. And those things, I think they're going to come together because I think some of the pieces that will open the spaces for him are starting to fall into place a little bit more.
Any other questions? Thanks for your time, Greg.
Okay.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Rick.
We will next be joined by a player who had a pivotal role in the match.
So it's one of the two, but we don't know which.
Yeah. What's up?
No, we're not here yet.
You want to come talk to us?
Not yet.
Me?
Not yet.
You can come, but we'll let me hear it.
No, I want this to stop being a trip hazard back here.
That's to keep people from coming up.
I have a bouncer back here.
He's sitting of us trying to go up.
Yeah.
A bounce house?
No, I'm just kidding.
Is there a bounce house back there?
Pardon?
Is there a bounce house back there?
There is a bounce house out back there, yeah.
That's what it is.
You want to go bounce on it?
I do.
Right.
Hey, yo. I feel like Kevin doesn't trust me to be able to turn this microphone on a little bit, so. Like he always hands it to me with no.
Well, yeah, because otherwise you'd screw it up.
Damn, look.
No, I know how to turn the microphone on and off. I also know how to log into my Facebook account.
So you know how to get around their inability to send a vote?
I don't know if it's them. I think it might be user error. Sometimes it's between the seat and the keyboard.
Well, when you put in your
What?
email and the email
User
never
error?
show up.
Yeah, I see it.
This is the king of user error right here.
No, human user is Facebook itself. You heard what happened? I lost my account.
You lost your account. You weren't able to access your parking that I gave you multiple times.
I it would be because it wouldn't send me in. Yeah, I had to change my, fix my, and then also, you need to go to a different device to show that you are who you are. And when I go to the device on that one, it's saying, well, to get on this device, first you get different devices than you are.
Oh my
And then when you're
god.
asking to send the code to the email,
Don't you hate when AI gives you the runaround?
you know, and Facebook AI doesn't support. So
Tech support.
it's like,
I need tech support.
they won't give me the code, so without the code, I can't access my phone.
And then all your followers will never know what you're up
No,
to.
I don't look at that. That's why you'll find a new friend request for me. It's not someone who tagged me. I've had to open a new one.
Can't wait for my Scott French friend.
Facebook social.
Ignore.
Meta.
That's so poorly done.
Ignore for 30 days.
Yeah, no,
Hey, good old. Oh, there it is. Scott French 10 hours ago. Sending you a friend request. I got Glenn Crooks and Scott French back-to-back friend requests. I got legends of MLS media.
Delete.
some people I tried to friend and it told me that, oh, we're sorry, we don't want to one there. Okay, I don't know. I worked with this guy from 1979, but they won't.
No, you know what? I lied. It was my aunt's
Someone
birthday
posted
today.
on my site.
And she like
Explained
she's
something
70,
from-
so you know yeah. So I hit her up on Messenger. I was like, pretty much complaining stuff. Oh no, for sure those Diaz send that out, bro.
25 and they had one yellow card.
whoever in the group chats, like
But they had 2 yellow cards.
and just
They did,
mass
right?
like good
Morsi
morning,
and
text,
Escobar.
good night.
That's that last one that he
You wanna-
missed that one.
You want to see what my
Yeah,
brother-in-law's stuff here?
Escobar
Yeah, multiple
throws his hand up and
And got all
deflected the shot.
dissentee.
Well, he also
Never ends.
They were
basically,
at like
yeah,
6 or 7 or whatever.
intentional hand roll.
We don't respond, bro. I mean, I ran out of response.
Edwin Surrio was en route.
I ran out of response.
Should have had a shot.
Years ago,
That guy
8 years.
does a job.
Like, this is every night.
Is he able to walk?
We'll see. Zach might be carrying him on his back. It won't be Eric Zavaleta though. We'll be carrying his back.
I thought they could have called the foul in the box, too.
Yeah, but the foul did, the start of the foul was outside, so he made the right call on that.
It almost felt like there were 2 fouls.
You could have, you could have said so, but when they do that, you know, the first one's the one that matters most. I think the other player wanted to get into the box so he could go down.
I need to see that pencil one
Dude.
again.
Can we talk about how horrendous the delay is?
35 seconds,
The
you said?
35-second delay is
For Apple?
crazy.
Yeah, but that's always the case.
No, it's not. Not even freaking close. It's like
All my-
it's like 12 seconds,
Yeah,
15
most.
seconds.
I haven't found that this season.
We are now joined by LA Galaxy midfielder.
I don't
Eddie
mind that though, because it enables me to turn around and look and I can watch the whole play build up.
Cedillo. We'll go ahead and start with Josh Gesson.
Edwin, thanks for talking to us. You sort of got thrown into a whole bunch of different positions today. Looks like maybe you're playing some center back there for a little bit. What can you say about this game and maybe about just the challenges that you personally went through in this game?
I think from the start it was a little chaotic. They came out pressing and with a lot of energy and turned us with a couple of balls in behind, and you know, Zanka got left 1v1, and maybe it may not have to have made that challenge, but you know, it is what it is, and that's part of the game. And as for me, I had to step up and be a center back today, a man down. It's just really what the game kind of needed and what Greg needed out of me. So yeah, just played my part.
What does it say about this team? Greg was even talking about it, that he said that you guys didn't just want the 1-1 draw, but that you wanted more from that, and he was trying to figure out a way to support you guys and that effort in the second half. Is this team frustrated by every bad break that seems to be going your way and everything else?
Yeah, I think a lot of people only see the end result of, you know, at the end of the game, and during the week, us as a team, we're fighting, we're competing within each other, we're trying to get out of this kind of slump that we're in, and you know, it's tough when another thing gets thrown at us. But the boys fought today, and even when we were tied and we were trying to push the game a man down, it shows a lot from us and who we are and who we're trying to be. So I think it's a good point to kind of build on.
Hey Edwin, you look comfortable as a center back. Had you played in that position before?
No, but there's no one behind me, so I'm even more calm than I am in the midfield.
But you really, I mean, it seemed to fit you. You feel like you could play that?
If I need to, yeah. It's just not really. It's sometimes like too easy, so I don't want to play back there. I like to be in the midfield, so it's just kind of where I want to play mostly. But if I'm needed, then I think I'll do my best to get the job done.
What are your thoughts on the way you started the game? The first 15, 20 minutes or so weren't very good. The goal they scored was much too easy given how much coverage there was in the box. After the red card, and especially after Parente came on, you guys looked very good. And I'm wondering, within that, just what you saw from Diego. And it seemed like he was all over the field doing whatever needed to be done and doing it very well.
Yeah, back to your point in the first half, like I said, the first 15, 20 minutes were pretty chaotic and we couldn't really settle the game down. They were just throwing numbers forward and we didn't, I think maybe didn't turn them enough in the first half to kind of have them back off and give us a little bit more space. So that's, you know, point one, and you know, the goal speaks for itself that was just too easy, and we needed, you know, just be more physical, be more attentive, and you know, that goes too easy and it's not acceptable. And then the second half, you know, they're up 1-0, maybe they get a little bit comfortable, and we have a free kick that Diego puts in at a perfect time. You know, it's, I think his 400th game and 150th goal contribution, so hats off to him, and not just this game, but games prior, especially me being more on that left side. He's a hard worker and someone who is for the team, and maybe he doesn't go sprinting forward anymore because of his age, but and you can tell him that too. But that's my boy. But he works really hard, and it's someone that respects me, and I respect him, and so we can kind of hold each other accountable in that side of the field.
Seems to be a little bit of a galvanizing presence for you guys.
Yeah, and he has a captain's armband, and he has a lot of experience, and gets along well with pretty much everybody. So that translates onto the field as well.
Hey, Evan, when you guys do go down a goal, what was the message amongst the group at halftime, even coming off for the second half?
It's just to respond, and we're gonna get maybe half a chance or a chance, and we had to make the most of it. It's kind of been what the mentality has been in the previous games when we're going down maybe way too early, or we shouldn't be going down first. But all we can do is respond and show a great mentality, and that's what this team did today. And hopefully we can build upon this and have better results to come.
It's always, when that happens, it's always one way or the other. It either ends 3-0 or it ends 1-1, or maybe you guys need something out. That mindset as a player, knowing you probably got to run more with a player down, how do you sort of deal with that?
I think everyone was up to the challenge of doing a little bit extra today, and we knew in the second half it was going to be a grind. The second that Zelko went down, it was going to be a grind. So everybody had to step up, and me kind of filling in that center back position. My goal was just to keep it at one at most, and give my teammates the best chance to kind of go out for the game and look to get a result, and that's what we did.
Hey Edwin, thank you so much for talking to us tonight. You started alongside Lucas Sanabria after his injury layoff. What was it like playing with him? And then also, Isaiah Parente comes in the second half. What are the differences that each brings playing alongside you? Thank you.
First I think it's good to have Lucas back. He went down pretty early in the season, and now we have other guys that are injured, but every time we can get someone back on the field, it's good to see him. He's a young kid with a lot of energy, and we need him this year. And in the second half, I think the game's just a little bit different when we're down a man, and Isaiah has to fill in a different role. So no comment on their different characteristics. I think they're just two good players that fill in spots where we need them.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right, thanks for your time, Evan.
Thanks, Evan.
And we are now joined by LA Galaxy midfielder and the youngest player ever to hit 400 MLS regular season matches, and the 16th player in the league history to hit 150 goal contributions. Diego Fagundez.
Hello.
Hey Diego, congratulations on the night. What, in big terms, does 400 appearances mean for you, especially after the game and the craziness that went on today? And maybe talk a little bit about your goal.
No, it's amazing. 400 games and still going strong. And then about the goal, I think it was finally the moment, that I've been waiting for. We talked on your show, so call me again. We'll be on the show again. Just the amount of work that we've been putting in, myself and everybody, we deserve something like this. And of course, we get shot again in our foot ourselves, and we go down, but the grind and the grit that everybody put, the hard work, the amount of running we did, that's what kind of team we want to be. And it shows. Now we need to do that with 11 guys, not 10. And after that, if we do that, we can be a really, really good team. And like I said, we just have to, those mistakes need to stop. And after that, I know we can get chances. And today we had a couple chances. To be honest, I don't think they really broke us down too much. But at the same time, we can't be going down again early.
Is there some simplicity in the idea that you're playing down a man and that you just know it's going to be a grind from here on out? Does it almost make things a little easier in terms of mentally for you?
I don't know about mentally, but I think when you go down a man, I think the team really needs to step up and show what kind of characters you are. And I don't want to say the word, but you need to really, have really guts in you and you know what. But and I think that's what we showed today. I think we wanted to win that, and everybody saw that. There's not one player that said, okay, you know what, we're down, man, and we're down a goal. We can't do this. No, everybody turned around. We came in at halftime and we said we believe we can do this, and all we needed was one chance, and we were able to get that chance. And after that, I think we wanted it more than they did. We were unlucky to not get the second one, but it shows that this team can do damage to other teams. Now we just need to do it with 11 guys and making sure that we can do it when we're ahead early, not behind.
Hey, Diego. You guys did respond very nicely, but you had to respond. The first 20 minutes or so weren't very good. The goal they scored was way too easy. Just your thoughts on what was wrong to begin?
Well, I think it's details. From the beginning, I think it's one thing that we need to correct, and I've been saying this now for the past 2 weeks, and it's details. Pay attention to details, because those are what's killing us. At the end of the day, it was too easy for him to get in the box, and that needs to be said. We need to communicate with each other, and whoever is down there, just let him go down the line. Don't let him go right through the middle, get in the box. Once the player goes inside the box, it's hard to touch someone because they can call a penalty or anything. So we just need to be better. And I think the communication starts from the back all the way to the forward. And I think no matter how you say that to someone, they need to accept it and say, all right, you know what? This is what kind of team we are. If I tell you, hey, defend better, you need to take that in mind and say, okay, I need to defend better because you guys are already doing that. So it's something that we just need to work harder and pay attention more to.
Got two questions for you about the second half, and as you guys are coming back. One is, you seem to be everywhere on the field in that second half. It seemed like whatever was needed, you were almost like the fireman putting the fires out. Your thoughts on that, and the ability you have to kind of maybe lift everybody else around you within that same structure?
I was just trying to do my role. When we go down a man, everybody needs to run a little more, and then I was playing inside with Lucas, and when you have a player like that can work hard and goes into tackles and he's not afraid, and then you have an Edwin Cerrillo and Miro behind you that can back you up, it helps. I'm not the best defender, and I've said that many times, but today I tried to do everything I can. I wanted that win as much as everybody, and I was willing to do whatever it took. And that's why wherever the ball was, I was trying to hunt it down. And when I looked at the clock and it was the 80th minute, my legs were shot. I was dead. But I knew I could give a little more, and I emptied the tank. And that's one thing that I'm very proud of myself. No matter what I'm doing out there, I'm giving it my all, and until the last little bit of fuel that I had in my system.
And then lastly, just if you could talk maybe a little bit more about what Edwin did. The guy's never played center back before, and he goes back there and he looks like he's a natural.
No, he is. Edwin shows what kind of player he is. He can fight, he can grind, he can defend. And today, when he needed to step back on defense and be a center back, he did a good job. Him and Amiro, we were just talking. He did a really good job, and that's all we can ask for. We know it was going to be a tough second half, but we made sure that the first half we ended it 1-0, or we were going to tie it. There was no way they could score another one. And when we came at halftime, everybody had their things to say, and we pushed each other. We encouraged each other that we can still come back, and we huddled up. And even Marco came up to us and said, "Guys, we believe we can do this. Like, we just need to trust each other and give it our all. Go back to basic soccer. Don't make mistakes. Do the things that you need to do." And I think today showed, I think we were unlucky not to get our second and go up a goal and get 3 points, but we have to be proud of this group where, like I've been saying, we've been fighting and fighting and fighting, and I know the results are not getting there, but at some point things are going to turn around, and it's going to change, and that's when everybody's going to be a lot happier.
Hey Diego, how do you think this result can push you guys going forward here as you go into I think Austin next week?
At the end of the game, I said it. We need to play the way we did when we were down a man, but with 11 guys. We're good enough to play against anybody. There's not one team, and I keep saying there's not one team that has outplayed us. There's not. And I went back to every single game, and there's not one team. And after they score, maybe we get a play, but it's not until we make our own mistakes. But this team, we need to be better at not making mistakes and making sure that we finish our chances. We're getting clear chances. I think in the first half, when Joseph goes one-on-one, I think he gets touched. I tried to complain to the ref and stuff, but things aren't going our way right now, let's be honest, but we need to just finish those. We finish those and the game turns around, and now we know we can push and have the other team push, and the second one and third can come after. When you're down a goal and down a man, it's hard to get that first one. So, but like I said, this team has been grinding, we've been fighting, and there's not one player out there that you can say has not been giving it all, because when you walk in there, everybody's mad, everybody's frustrated, everybody's empty on their fuel. And that's one thing that we need to be really proud of. But like I said, now it's time to really step up and everybody encourage everyone to be better and be a good teammate and push each other.
Hey, what's up, Diego? Tonight was your 400th appearance. I'm curious, who were some of your vets from your early days in New England? What were some of the characteristics you brought with you that you implement now? Because Greg and Edwin were talking about your positive influence in the locker room as a vet today.
Look, we have one of them who works for the academy, Matt Reese, a guy who took me under his wing when I was 15, 16 years old, and to this day he thinks he's better than me at soccer tennis, but he's not. But no, he's just the positive stuff that he always encouraged teams. I was on teams that we weren't winning, we weren't doing well, but the way they brought it to the locker room, they played, they worked hard. That's what kind of player I wanted to be. I wanted to influence other players to be better, to push themselves. Shari Joseph, another one, my roommate at some point, bad roommate, but he was someone that he comes on the field and he put in the shift, he put in the work, and he wanted better from everyone. If you had a bad touch in training, you would not hear the end of it. That's what kind of player he wanted. He wanted you to be the best player you could be. And when I started learning those things from people, that's what I wanted to bring to every team that I came. I might not be the most talkative on the team, but I want the best from you. And if I have to grind out there, I want you to grind with me. If I have to run for you, I'll run for you. But the next play, run for me now. And that's what kind of team. That's the kind of team that we want to be. We want to be that if we make a mistake, there's going to be someone there to help you. At the end of the day, maybe last year we made mistakes, but we were able to score 3 or 4 goals. This year we're making mistakes, but we're not scoring. So we need to just end those mistakes so then we can be in a game.
Hey Diego, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on 400 and the goal tonight. Like Damien said, you've had your coach out here, you've had a teammate out here speak positively about you, even though Edwin said that you're old. But he said that you guys, Josh said like that. But how does it feel to be, like a leading figure in this team, somebody that everybody on the team looks to? You're wearing the armband right now. You're just 30. I mean, you're in years not that old, but you've been in the league for a long time. So do you kind of feel like, you have that OG status? Do you fight against that a little bit, or do you still feel like a young man? And at the same time, with this team looking to you right now, how does that feel? Thank you.
Look, it's an honor to wear the captain's armband. It's not, to be honest, did I expect it? No, of course not. But we can all be captains. It doesn't matter who's wearing the armband. We can all be leaders. And for me, when I got it, I'm still the same person. I want you to be the best you can be. And maybe now I need to be a little bit more talkative in the locker room, and I try to be. But this is because I want to win. I don't want to lose. I don't want to be in this bad moments right now. I want it as much as everybody, as the fans, the front office, the players, the coaches. We all want to win. That's the truth. If we didn't want to win, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be doing this job. We're competitive in training. We're competitive. No one likes to lose. There's people yelling at our coaching because they're reffing, and we're yelling at players because they're not defending. And that's what makes us better. But now we need to bring that into the game. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to keep being me and keep doing what I've been doing. And I said it on your podcast when we talked. There's people that are always going to find negative about us. But at the end of the day, what's important that in this locker room, we're united, we're together, and if we're going through some bad moments, we're going together. If we're going through the good moments, we're together. There's not one person that is not doing their job. We're all trying to do our job. We're all trying to win. And that's what's important. And all I can ask for is everyone to keep grinding, keep pushing. at some point things are going to turn and we're going to be a lot happier.
Diego, I have one more. Can you walk us through your goal? Just tell us your mindset. What you see? Just give anything you can give us on that.
No, as soon as I remember Christian grabbed the ball and he got fouled, and it was free kick, and I was like, all right, this is my turn. Like, this is me. This is what I enjoy. I scored goals against the Houston quite a bit. Last time I scored against Clark in free kick, so I was like, this is my chance. And it's me and Peck standing on the ball, and we're looking at the goal, and we always assess like, where's the goalkeeper standing? What's going to do it? And Isaiah comes from behind me, and Edwin comes from behind me and goes, Diego, bend it, bend it, bend it, just bend it. And that gave me more confidence, and I'm like, all right, I got this. And when I hit that, once it left my foot, I knew it was in. Like, it just felt too good to be true. But like I said, I've been working those forever, so for one to finally go in and get that weight off someone, you know, like I said, people look at numbers. Finally, that number is finally there, so I can show. But that doesn't bother me. What matters to me is that we need to start winning games, and this might be a good turnaround. Now we need to go to Austin, and you know how bad I want to beat them, of course. So that's one thing I said to the locker room. Let's go positive. Let's play the way we did when we were down a man, and do it with 11 guys, and just grind while we're out there, because I know it's going to be a tough game and things might not go our way, but we need to make sure that we stay together, we stay positive, and we're scoring some goals.
Anything else?
No, Josh asked my question.
All right, that concludes our press conference.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Diego.
Next up, we're done. We're done.